Isn't it infuriating when you're talking to someone about something you find deeply fascinating, and they hit you with the phrase, "It's not that deep"? This phrase has sparked a lot of discussion online. For some, it's a helpful reminder to pull back from pointless For others, it signals the rise of anti-intellectualism and the death of critical thought. And honestly, both sides have a point. My name is Joe Foley, and this is Unsolicited Advice. I've noticed that when people argue about what is or isn't that deep, they're often talking about two different things. It's crucial to separate these to understand the debate. Sometimes, "it's not that deep" is applied to our emotions and behavior. Say I was getting really worked up about an unkind comment someone made. A friend might tell me, "It's not that deep," meaning it's just not worth worrying about. They're basically saying I'm blowing it out of proportion. In daily life, I think this is the most common usage, and it is certainly the one I hear most in person, though that might just be because I can be a bit dramatic and a lot of my friends are too. However, this isn't the usage that dominates the online debate. The more controversial use of "it's not that deep" focuses on analyzing media, literature, or language. It's like that old meme about the curtains just being blue, mocking the idea that English teachers and people who love literature read too much into things, inferring authorial intent that isn't there. But this isn't just about books. I've seen people say it's not that deep in response to analyses of films, media, or even news stories. For example, in my video on Fahrenheit 451, I compared the philosophy of Beatty, the fire chief, to an interpretation of the philosopher Thomas Hobbes. Someone might respond by saying, "It's not that deep." They'd argue Ray Bradbury probably didn't intend to evoke a Bayesian philosophy, so I'm just reading far too much into it. We'll put a pin in this idea of authorial intent, as it will be important later. So, despite the differences, the common thread in both uses is the idea that someone is finding something where nothing actually exists. They're staring into a puddle as if it were a deep well. In the emotional sense, I'm finding something to be upset about when there's nothing worth being upset about. In the literary sense, I'm finding supposed depth in a character that the author didn't intend. We'll focus on the literary usage in this video, but I wanted to acknowledge the other meaning, since they are connected. As someone who spends a lot of time on this channel analyzing literature I love, it will surprise you that I usually disagree when people say it is not that deep. I often think literature has depths worth plunging into, but at the same time, I am sympathetic to the general sentiment. Surely we can agree that sometimes we do read too much into things, including literary texts. For a while now, I've been working on a long analysis of Cormac McCarthy's novel, Blood Meridian, This is a novel absolutely brimming with symbolism. You could spend years analyzing it and still not uncover all its possible depths, and yet you can still read too much into it. Take this passage, for example. They rode 5 days through desert and mountain and through dusty pueblos, where the populace turned out to see them. Squatting by the desert fires at night. Brilliance learning is based around you doing exercises, so you learn by putting ideas into practice. This improves retention and just stops things from getting boring. It can also reduce your social media dooms. With their app, you can complete lessons on the go instead of arguing on Twitter about whether something was that deep. If you want to improve your own critical thinking skills, check out the logic course on Brilliant. A friend of mine also personally recommends their calculus puzzles. To learn for free on Brillia, go to brilliant.org. Unsolicited, or scan the QR code on screen. Brilliant is also giving my viewers 20% off an annual premium subscription, so please do check that out. Anyway, back to the video. Many have criticized the phrase, "It's not that deep," for being anti-intellectual and discouraging curiosity. I do think there's something to this. At its worst, the phrase can be used to dismiss any attempts to analyze anything for deeper meaning. This is how you end up saying that 1984 is just a fun sci-fi story with no real-world relevance. This attitude could even stretch beyond literature, making us totally incurious about the world itself. A number of creators have talked about people self-identifying as bimbos, and how this trend might connect to a broader rejection of critical thought. We'll explore that connection and the dangers of intellectual apathy next.